Welcome back to the Deep Dive. You're here because, well, you want to understand things quickly and deeply.
That's the goal.
So today we're digging into something pretty fundamental.
Yeah,
What actually happens in our minds when someone asks us a question?
Right. It seems simple on the surface, but there's a whole cognitive process going on. We're drawing on Dr. Fowler's model here.
Okay, and it breaks down into what, 4 main steps?
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't just for formal surveys, is it? It's everyday life.
Exactly. It applies anytime we're processing an inquiry and trying to respond. So the very first step is comprehension.
Comprehension. Just, do I get what you're actually asking?
Pretty much. Do you understand the question as the asker intended it?
Okay, example time. If I ask, how many times have you been to the doctor in the past year? Seems straightforward.
Uh-huh. But what does doctor mean? Your main GP?
Or maybe specialists? Does a dentist count? A physical therapist?
Precisely. That ambiguity means different people might answer the same literal question based on totally different internal definitions.
And you see this with words like frequent or significant too, right? What's frequent exercise? 3 times a week. 5. Once.
Yeah, those subjective terms are tricky. They lead to varied interpretations and, well, potentially inaccurate answers if everyone's defining it differently.
Okay, so let's say I think I understand the question. What's happening next in my head?
Next up is retrieval. You got to pull the relevant information out of your memory.
Okay, so if you ask me, how many times did you eat out last month?
Right. Are you going to recall every single instance? Probably not.
No way. I'd probably think, well, I usually grab lunch out maybe twice a week and dinner once. I'd estimate based on my routine.
Exactly. We often rely on heuristics or general patterns because recalling every single specific event, especially mundane ones, is really hard. Memory has limits.
Especially for things that aren't, major life events. Forgetting a random Tuesday lunch is easy.
For sure. So when exact recall fails or it's just too difficult, we move to step 3, judgment and estimation.
Ah, so this is where the guesswork really comes in.
Well, hopefully informed guesswork. But yes, think about how much time do you spend watching TV in a typical week?
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm not timing that. I'd have to kind of guess. Maybe an hour or 2 a night, some weekend stuff.
You're making a judgment based on what feels right, what seems typical. You're not calculating it precisely.
Which, let's be honest, is how we answer tons of questions in daily life. Ballpark figures are common.
Totally. And then comes the final step, formatting the answer. Or, communicating it.
Formatting, what do you mean?
It's about fitting your internal answer into the options you're given. Think about a survey question with predefined choices.
Like, how many hours of TV did you watch? And the options are less than 5 hours, 10 hours, more than 10 hours.
Exactly. So maybe your internal estimate was 11 hours. You have to pick more than 10 hours.
Even if it feels less precise than my own guess. Or what if I estimated exactly 10 hours? Which box do I tick?
Right. The structure forces you to categorize, sometimes in ways that don't perfectly map onto your internal judgment. That constraint can affect the final data.
So the way a question is asked and the way the answer has to be given both matter hugely.
Absolutely. And, there's another layer, too, which is response editing. People might adjust their answers to sound better.
The social desirability thing, like maybe under-reporting how much alcohol they drank or over-reporting how much they exercise.
Yeah, that definitely happens. But the core takeaway from Fowler's model is understanding these 4 steps: comprehension, retrieval, judgment, and formatting. Recognizing them helps us see where things can go wrong, where misunderstandings or biases might creep in, not just in surveys, but any communication.
So being aware of this makes us, I guess, more critical thinkers, both when asking questions and when answering them.
Definitely. It helps you design better questions and interpret answers more thoughtfully.
Makes it thinky.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Thinking about these steps, comprehension, retrieval, judgment, formatting, how might you rephrase a question you've asked someone recently or even when you were asked?
Yeah, how could you make it clearer, more likely to get an accurate reflection of what's really going on in their head?
Exactly. Something to consider in your own interactions day to day.
Great stuff. Really makes you pause and think about how we communicate. Thanks for breaking that down.
My pleasure.
All right, that's our deep dive for today. Catch you next time.